So let's move on to morale. Let's show you some of those intricate bits to the morale system. So let's have a situation here. We've got these 5 sergeants. They're charging 4 bowmen. The 4 bowmen are already carrying a morale for a casualty they lost earlier this turn. They've also done an action. They can't do anything else. So the sergeants, because they're within their 4 inches of base movement, they don't need to roll a dice 6 for how much further they're going in. So they will straight away, we give them this action, they're attacking, and they're going to go straight in. So here we go, they'll all get a go, so that's 4 dice. 3, 4, 5 dice in fact, there we go, 5 dice. 1 for each guy. Now, if you're carrying a morale on you, it means that it's actually physically sort of weakened you while you're carrying that. That's going to add into the combat. If there is a difference of between 1 and 4 from one side to another, it's going to add dice into the mix. In this game, there's 2 sorts of modifier. There's modifiers that add to the dice that you're rolling, but there's also modifiers that add extra dice into the mix. So the extra dice that they're going to get is 1 extra dice because there is a difference between 1 here and none here. That's a +1 to these guys, it gives them an extra dice. So they're now rolling 6 dice instead of 5. They're pretty good, they only need 5s to hit. So let's have a roll. That's pretty good. So they've hit with 4. These 10s are very important, they're criticals. They can only be saved by rolling a 10. So the archers look to me like they're going to be in trouble. They're going to get 4 dice as a reply, 1 for each of the hits. They need at least 2 10s to cancel these 2 10s here. Their armour save is a 7. They're not wearing any armour, so let's have a look. Terrible. They have to put their highest dice against the 10s, so they're fails. That's 2 failed already. Then these 2 are also fails. So they failed to defend against any of those attacks. They've got no shields, so that's 4 dead. That wipes the unit out. So that was a very devastating attack, wiping out all 4. But let's, for the purposes of showing you, let's imagine that they only killed 2. That is 50%. They've lost 2 casualties. They get pushed back an inch for each casualty, plus an inch. So that makes it 3 inches pushback. And their morale dice goes up another 2, so it goes from 1 to 3. Now 50%, if you lose 50% and you've just lost a round of combat, that's a shock test. Shock is worse than broken. So they need a morale test. They're regular bowmen. Regular bowmen need a 4. So for them to carry on the fight, they need a 4. But you're going to add in the pips that are already on their morale dice. So the 4 suddenly becomes a 7. So let's roll that, see if they make it or not. No, that's a fail. It's a big fail. So that unit would then be shocked, and you would place darker red token on them to indicate that they're shocked. So I'm going to show you now how you use your commanders when it comes to morale. So we'll talk through the same situation with the sergeants attacking the archers. Let's imagine they've hit twice and caused 2 casualties that haven't been saved as yet. We need to do that. So they've hit twice. So these guys, the archers, get 2 saves. Their commander is nearby. The commander has several abilities, one of which is called Inspire. Because he's got a banner, his command bubble is now not 6 inches, it's 12. So they're easily within that. If he's inspiring one of his units, he adds an extra dice, either into their attack or into their defense. So he's going to give them an extra dice. They still need to make 2 saves, but they've got 3 chances now to make those 2 saves. Their armour is 7, so let's see what they get. They failed all 3. So that's still only 2 dead, because they've had 3 chances to save 2 wounds. All those chances failed, so they take 2 wounds. They're the 2 that got through. So you take from contact, so those 2 are dead. It means these 2 guys are now forced back 1 inch for each casualty plus an inch. So that takes them 3 inches directly away, and their morale pip changes from a 1 to a 3. They've lost 50% and lost a combat, which now means they need a morale test. Now normally they're going to be rolling on a 4 plus that 3, 7, which is quite high. But this is where this command bubble makes a big difference, because if you are within the command range of your commander and he has a priest, the priest allows you to ignore any numbers on your morale dice. So they're not adding 3 anymore, and they're also not using their own morale. Because they're in command range, they're using their bosses here, and his is a mere 3. So having him nearby negates the 3 because of the priest, and it allows them to roll on his, which means instead of a 7, they now only need a 3. Spot on, they make it, so they are not broken.